Glencoe, gateway to the outdoor capital of the UK, an inspirational Scottish landscape of mountain and coast, and a place where everyone can enjoy an exceptional range of world-class outdoor experiences. Glencoe is conserved as a national scenic area, attracting more than 1 million visitors every year.
Located in the heart of the Highlands, Glencoe is one of the most scenic and beautiful areas of Scotland. It's famous for its spectacular mountains, rugged landscape, and of course, its rich and turbulent history. Most visitors arrive in Glencoe via the A82, which runs from Glasgow to Inverness. There's plenty to see and do on the way, so if you are driving, you should try and stop, explore, and just take in some of this. Meaning valley, the Glen of Glencoe follows the River Coe to Loch Leven, where the main settlements of Glencoe village and Ballachulish can be found. Wandering through Glencoe village, you come across buildings that date back hundreds of years, and there are many more of these scattered throughout the glen, giving you the feel of a place steeped in history. And it's not just the buildings that have interesting stories to tell. Looking out onto Loch Leven, you'll see a number of small islands. Glencoe was home to the MacDonald clan, and they used these wee islands here in Loch Leven for various things. The one on the end is called Elan Comrie, or Isle of Discussion, and if people had disputes over land or any other matters, then they would head out to the island and they wouldn't be allowed back until they'd reached an agreement. They would then sail to the island of Ratification further up the loch, where the agreement would be drawn up and sealed. The larger island is called Elan Munda, and it was named after St Fintan Mundus, who travelled here from Iona in the 7th century. Thanks, Paul.
Okay, you're welcome.
It was also known as the Burial Island and was used by 3 clans, the MacDonalds, the Stuarts and the Camerons. This is the MacDonald area of the island, and it's where many of the clan were brought to be buried after they were murdered in the infamous Glencoe massacre. Following defeat in the first Jacobite uprising, all of the clans were forced to swear allegiance to the king. The MacDonalds of Glencoe were one of the last clans to bend the knee, drawing the ire of the crown and particularly the Secretary of State. He disliked all the Highlanders and so colluded with members of the rival Campbell clan to put an end to the MacDonalds. In early 1692, Captain Robert Campbell was billeted to Glencoe with his men. It was the middle of winter, so they were received by the MacDonalds and given hospitality and shelter. Only a month later, Campbell received an order to put to the sword all under 70. As morning broke, the soldiers killed MacIan, the chief of Glencoe, and in a coordinated attack, the soldiers then went on to kill a further 38 of the clansmen as they woke or tried to flee. Another 40 women and children then went on to die of exposure after their homes were burnt to the ground by the troops. The massacre was considered so shocking and such a heinous crime that it's remembered still today. For many Highlanders, a massacre under those circumstances, murder under trust, was simply unthinkable. One of the best ways to find out more about Glencoe and to visit the islands is by boat, and local fast boat operator Sea Explorer run a number of trips in Loch Leven. Departing from Ballachulish, a variety of trips offer unparalleled views of both the Glen and the iconic Pap of Glencoe. The Sea Explorer guides entertain passengers with wonderful tales of the clans and witches, local characters and landmarks, and of course, the native wildlife.
25, 30 years old, this. That's a big old beast. Beautiful.
Trips often encounter otters, dolphins, seals, and even the very rare sea eagle. Heading out under the iconic Ballachulish Bridge offers superb views down to the coast and a thrilling high-speed ride home. In Ballachulish and Glencoe village, you will find local services, shops and fuel. Glencoe village also has a fantastic museum. At the end of town, you can cross the old stone bridge over the River Coe, where a beautiful walking and cycle trail follows the winding road for a couple of miles to pop out right in the heart of Glencoe at the Clackagan. Providing hospitality for travellers for more than 300 years, the Clackagan is a great place to eat and relax. Enjoy hearty meals from fresh local ingredients and be entertained in the 3 legendary and award-winning bars. Heading east from Glencoe, the road follows the shores of Loch Leven to the small town of Kinlochleven. As you'd expect in the outdoor capital of the UK, there is plenty of fun on offer here too, from ice climbing to a memorable trip up Scotland's very first Via Ferrata.
So Via Ferrata means iron walkway, and it's a series of metal staples glued into the rock. Think of it as a giant ladder up the cliff. Anyone can do it, age 10 and above. It's all super safe.
It's conquering the fear of heights. Stunning. Absolutely stunning.
Great fun. It's an excellent way to see a part of nature not many people get to see.
Oh, it's awesome. It was really, really good.
The great thing to do after the Via Ferrata is to come riverboarding down at Kinlochleven. You can come down, surf on our wave, try the different lines, easy to hard, suits everyone.
It's a great way to spend an afternoon there.
Heading west up the north shore of Loch Leven, a beautiful drive brings you out at Ballachulish Bridge, where you can rejoin the A82 as it continues north to Fort William. A few minutes up the road, you come to the small village of Onnick, where you'll find the Vertical Descents Activity Centre, offering daily canyoning trips and weekly trips whitewater rafting.
The Intree Falls, it's a magic trip. We've been canyoning here for the last 14 years. Anyone can do it, from sort of 7-year-olds up to 65, 70-year-olds. Just come and have some fun with us. It's a great activity. It's a beautiful way to see the Highlands. The waterfalls are fantastic. Not only loads of action, but there's also loads of nature in there as well. And we're here at the River Garry. It's a great introduction to whitewater rafting. It's a grade 3-4 river. It's on a dam release, so we've always got guaranteed water and loads of fun, so it's great for all ages and all abilities.
Fort William is the largest town in the area, and here you can find plenty of shops, supermarkets, garages, a hospital, and of course, Ben Nevis, the UK's tallest peak.
Glencoe is known as the gateway to the outdoor capital of the UK and is famous for its mountaineering and hill walking. Every year, 200,000 hill walkers come to the area, some just for a gentle stroll, others more adventurous to climb a Monroe or two.
Travelling south through Glencoe, the famous Anach Aigach Ridge can be seen on your left. This precipitous scramble along a knife-edge ridge is a must-do for mountaineers visiting the area.
Another classic walk in Glencoe is the one that takes you to the Lost Valley, which is just ahead of me. In hill walking terms, it's relatively straightforward. It's a short day out, but the views from the top are spectacular.
Heading further south up the River Coe, you pass the famous meeting of the Three Waters, an impressive waterfall perfect for a quick photo or even a swim in summer. At the head of the glen, the A82 meets the West Highland Way. Very popular with walkers of all abilities, this world-famous trail stretches all the way from Glasgow to Fort William, following an old military road built in the mid-1700s. From the A82, a section called the Devil's Staircase can be seen winding up the hill and onto Kinlochleven. As you head south, the West Highland Way follows the road, crossing the River Etive at the King's House Hotel.
With dramatic scenery like this, it's no surprise that Glencoe has featured in many films. Most famously, the Harry Potter films, and more recently, scenes from James Bond's Skyfall were filmed here in Glen Etive.
Following the A82 south from Glen Etive, the road climbs over Rannoch Moor before continuing through the villages of Tyndrum and Crean Larrick and on to Glasgow or Stirling. Heading west from Glencoe to Oban takes you under the Ballahoolish Bridge and past the Dragon's Tooth Golf Course, where you'll find plenty to do at Glencoe activities. Specialising in family activities, both Segway tours and archery are available on site.
It's good for all ages. We go on trips around the golf course. We've got like off-road tracks to do. We've got some free time on some free tracks. We also do archery. We like to keep the tradition, so if you ever watch Robin Hood, that's kind of the stuff we do. The same kind of bows, arrows. We have little competitions as well to see who's the winner in your party.
Continuing along the beautiful and rugged coastline of Loch Linney, you pass Glencoe Wood at Dura, where you can visit the Highland Titles Nature Reserve and even become a lord or a lady.
We welcome everybody to come here, relax and take a walk in the woods.
The unique thing about the reserve is that it's actually owned by thousands and thousands of people across the world who've all been to the Highland Titles website and bought a small plot of land. Lots of people come to visit their land, but for many the real plus is being able to call themselves lords, lairds or ladies of Glencoe.
From the road to Oban, you get an incredible view of Castle Stocker, an iconic castle situated on its very own island and seat of the Stuart clan. Legend has it that the 7th chief lost the castle in a drunken bet. It was derelict for hundreds of years, but has now been beautifully restored.